everyone to Meet the Polymaker episode 100. Pretty good number. So we got some things coming here in the future. We talked about on our Tuesday streams about the 100th episode or the 104th episode, which one's more important. Just since it's been consecutive, thanks to your guys' support, 104 weeks, or episode 104 will be 2 years consecutive, never missing a beat. So I'll have to see what's in store there. I got to make sure my dates line up that I'll be here to do it. But welcome in. If you are new to the show here, we do have a giveaway already started. Let me move this mic down. And if you type in "I am awesome" in chat, that will get you entered for a chance to win some Polymaker filament at the end of the show. So this is live for anybody that's might be asking. Yes, I am here. Yes, it is. I don't even know. January 29th. That's convincing, isn't it? But what we do here is we like to talk some 3D printing news. We like to share what everybody has been printing in the community. Not everything. 5 of the many things that are shared in our Discord. And ultimately, we like to talk to a new maker. Whether they're new or a veteran in the making part, they're new as a guest on the show. And today we have none other than DigitalDragon72 on the show. So we will talk with him a little bit later, see what he's been up to. He's got some cool news, some great things going on for him down in his area. So we'll get to that here shortly. But until then, we're going to head over to Hotend headlines. And first up, we're going to talk about Wigglitz. These are little tiny flexies. We've all printed flexies. We've done the dragons. We've done all that. Some have sold them at stores. Some have sold them on Etsy. Wigglitz has done a little bit more in the regards of selling and now are in major retailers. These guys are based out of Utah, and they are a large print farm. It is Zachary Bailey and his wife that run it, along with, of course, additional staff. But they have a print farm of over 2,700 bamboo printers. I think it was between P1Ps and X1C combos, all printing these things 24/7. And they just alone last year, they made $18 million in revenue. That is huge. And the reason I kind of want to talk about it is the fact that you can start small. You find that right area and you push it the right way. Of course, everybody sells flexies. It is a saturated market, but it's all in that marketing. It's all in, how can you do things different? How can you stand out? And this has led to just much success for them. Hopefully eventually have them on the show. But they have over 200 plus models that they have in-house. They model in-house that are theirs. They don't sell the models themselves, but they sell the printed versions. I think they do variation bags, like themed bags, special editions, things like that. But these are actually in Walmart now too. So in many other retailers, but just some crazy stuff to see how far 3D printing can really go and be sustainable as an income, or income and then some, because 18 million is pretty, even with the overhead, that's a lot of money. And next up we have Sierra Tech or Soraya Tech, as in the process of creating a new TPU material. So we've seen the TPU, we see the foaming TPU, we've seen PIBA, which is not PIBA or not TPU, but PIBA. They all have different aspects to them that stand out, that help in making, of course, shoe wear. We've seen a lot more recently. Zellerfeld, of course, has their proprietary stuff. But what their Sierra Tech is looking to do is find the middle meeting ground in a TPU formula. They call it their TPU Air HR. I'm not sure exactly what's in it. This is going to be launched under the Roamer, which is a new sub-brand focused on high performance 3D printing materials. What's in it, what it does, is it pre-foamed, is it foaming? I believe it is foaming as it prints, because it is one of the ones where you can actually adjust your temps to adjust the hardness of the foam. So in a shoe, you can have the sole a little bit stiffer, the top a little bit softer. But for us to have access to this with even more materials as consumers is great news. We can print all sorts of cool things. Designers can design some awesome looking things. Variable hardness, I think, went from 64A to 85A. So decent variation. Main thing too is got a bear with me just a second here, Luke. We're gonna make sure everything's good. Okay, there we go. Make sure on both sides. Okay, I think we're good. My apologies, everyone. Welcome to the show. If you've been suffering through that lag, thanks for staying. But yeah, hopefully at least I think the audio was still okay. It was just unbearable to watch, more so than just having to see my face before any jokes happen. Haha. But hopefully we should be good to go now. So let me move this around, and I'm gonna let everybody refresh, catch up real quick, just so everybody's on the same page. Much better. So I found out a trick if it's like that, because I'm always afraid of closing the app down and it not loading quick enough to re-engage and connect to the same connection or same stream. So I'll just go and disable the internet, and then disable the Ethernet, and then re-enable it. For those that are looking to use Streamlabs on desktop, if you ever have that issue, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, but now we're back. Everybody should be refreshed in here. We're here to meet our next maker who's been patient through this trouble. So with that said, most of you guys know who he is, and if you don't, we'll find out who he is in just a second. Please wait for just a moment as I bring Luke back into the stream. Oh, where'd he go? You're there, Luke. Give me just a second here. I don't know. Yes, cam. Yes, cam. There we go. Okay, Luke, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, thankfully, because it's one less problem to have to figure out as this whole process goes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Well, welcome on the show. Thank you very much for being on. And real quick, since we're already here, for those that might not know who you are and what do you do?
Well, my name's DigitalDragon72. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch. What that means is we do everything 3D printing here on the show, or on my show. Everything from machine unboxings to full printer builds, mods. We beta test things for various vendors. So a little bit of everything here on the show.
And you've been streaming for a little while now, longer than I have, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're coming up on 3 years within a day or two right now. So.
Oh, so you almost have an anniversary. Is that I mentioned it's the 100th episode for us. So you got ready. You're getting ready to celebrate that, and then we'll talk about something else that's coming up. So you got a busy, busy schedule ahead.
Yeah, got a lot of things going on right now, and it's, pulled my hair out a little bit.
Yeah. Today, but actually, so when I was down in North Carolina, a few weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, he had a full head of hair. I don't know what happened to it. They were long, curly locks.
Yeah, long curly locks. There you go.
I can definitely picture that on you. So now, of course, with the streaming stuff is you do a lot of custom printers. You do a lot more than just that. But that's, I know a lot of people know you for. That's when they first come across you. When you got into 3D printing, when did you start? And did you start right in, head first, or did you kind of play with something more consumer friendly?
Consumer friendly. Yeah.
I guess that's
so I started back in 2016, and I started off, my first printer was a TiVo Tarantula, and believe it or not, I still have that printer.
Yeah, that's I always ask that because I'm always curious I'm sentimental, so I keep way more things than I need to, but I have my OG printer too. So you still have, is it fully functional, or have you completely modified it? Or
it was heavily modified, and one of the things I want to do for the shop and for the stream is bring it back to stock and get it up and running again. So it's not functioning right now, but we can make everything work again.
There you go. I've seen some crazy things you guys have messed with. What's over at Ecovate is the F1 Optimus.
It's the Optimus P1 Pro.
P1. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So we got that regoing, full Hotend, new motherboard, new host, the whole 9 yards. It's been pretty much revamped. So.
Yeah, like you said, because it's not just the Creality stuff, the Flashforge stuff, Anycube. It's like you said, you pretty much, for the most part, is you can make it work. Whether you have to modify or you can't find parts, you can fabricate kind of whatever it needs for the most part, right?
Yeah. And right now I've got a Raise 3D, was that a Raise 3D Pro 2 Plus sitting right off screen over here that we worked on a little bit. So yeah,
Is that, and that's was that came to you inoperative, or was it working?
it came to me inoperative. It was another machine that was over at Ecovate 3D, and I talked him out of it, brought it over here, and I think right now we're just waiting on on a new servo to come in to be able to switch between the two tool heads on it, because it is a dual tool head machine.
Yeah, it's dual tool head and it's
So,
taller, right? It has a pretty tall Z.
yeah, the Pro Plus is tall, so it's like 300 by 320 by 6 something.
Nice.
So it's
So you'll be
another
able to
pretty
make some
tall
fun
machine.
prints out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So now going back to 2016, like I said, he's had the TiVo Tarantula. Was that something, were you already a tinkerer before that, or was that something you kind of used and found out you needed to tinker with it a little bit?
Well, I've always been a tinkerer. I've always played around with like PCs, servers, having to build up my own lab, because every job I worked in the military, we had enough for the equipment, but never for the lab to actually be able to make things work. So, we always made do with what we could find and get. And I got into 3D printing with the TiVo Tarantula, and away I went. And it it predated the Ender 3s, and you had to tinker it to keep it running and get it running. And it seemed like every other print you had to do something else to it to make it work. So,
And then it went through the trials and tribulations, and that's where you probably lost some of your hair also.
no, the kids took care of most of it.
They wanted to get ahead of everything. That way, then you could just enjoy the hobby and not worry about the hair that's going to fall out.
Exactly. It doesn't get in the way.
There you go. So now with that, did that lead, like, because I know, of course, you've got several Vorons. Did that lead pretty quickly into the Voron stuff? Like I'm not big into the history of Voron, so I don't know. Did you start early off when that kind of went off, or was it something you jumped on to kind of after it got rolling?
Uh, it was a little later on in the evolution. I went through and had some Ender 3s, had some A nets, that type of stuff. The first Voron I built was a V0, and then I won a set of printed forward parts at the first Rocky Mountain Rep Rat Festival, and that's where I got into doing the bigger Vorons and the 300 size. And since then, it's gone downhill between
hole, right?
between Voron 2.4s. I've got a Trident 300, a Trident 350. I beta tested some things for the Zero G Mercury 1. So if you've ever been to Murph, you may have seen the new Nebula frame that was released this year for those. I built one of those 2 years ago and had it at Murph. And it was ordered all the frame from Masumi, drilled and tapped it myself, assembled it with a CAD drawing, and that was it.
Now you've done, of course, obviously just listed quite a few different models. Do you know how many total have you built to date? Have you kept track?
I've built 32 printers to date, either for myself or for some other people. I've built it turned into a 2.4, but I had most of the parts to a Trident for Chewy. And then I built a Micron for Zura that I delivered at 3D Printopia this year.
Nice.
And a couple of others along the way.
So now with the all the ones that you've built, obviously that one of the big things that's becoming popular is all these big prints. Are you planning on doing the Phoenix?
I don't know about a Phoenix. I keep looking at the Venture XL. And every time I go to look at it, Fabrico doesn't have it. So that's helped me out there.
Is that the 500 cubed? Is that how big that one is?
It's 600, I believe.
600. Okay.
I believe it's 600 cubed.
Big enough.
I was this close to getting my hands on a Orange Storm Giga that had a full Blue Storm Terra Hotend from Luke's lab that they couldn't figure out how to get integrated. And I had offered, and they decided just to get rid of the whole printer, and I didn't find out in time. So somebody else was in line before me. So.
I said that would have been a great one for you. Yeah. Cause I have no doubt the mad scientist in you would have that thing hacked up. And
I mean, we put one of them on the Optimus P1.
Yep.
Right. So Yeah.
Yeah, see, and you would be the one that could see, being able to adapt and having the patience, we'll say, to adapt it to like index when it comes out, and just having 20
Yep.
plus color changes just because.
Yeah. Just because.
No, there you go. So now with all the 3D printing and of course the kind of the journey you went with that is, when did you start deciding to stream? Was it straight away with 3D printing, or did you start streaming other stuff first?
I was watching a lot of streamers on Twitch. A lot of the ones that we know and love. Watching a lot of people on YouTube, Modbot, and 3D printing nerd Tom Slatterer, Angus over at
Yep.
Maker's Muse, teaching tech, Chep, all of them, and
all the OGs.
I believe it was Westery One and Subsector talked me into streaming, and I streamed couple 3, and then it just kind of went from there. So it's just another thing. It's like, ooh, let me go get this, and ooh, let me go get that, and the different.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into like the big massive cameras yet, but I got the OBS bots, and they're working great.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's of course the new place of lighting and all the other extra stuff, but that's just an additional rabbit hole that you've went down with 3D printers and now streaming. But then not that the wife hasn't already just dealt with whenever you bring something else in, but it gives you a little bit of I guess maybe some leeway to like, well, I got this project for the stream, not to just have something for myself.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stream projects. The problem is I start working on different projects, and then all of a sudden they all show up at once. So then they're sitting all over, all the boxes are sitting everywhere, waiting for me to get to the builds. And I normally have like 4 or 5 builds going on at the same time.
At least she has a very high tolerance, correct?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, we don't know what happens.
Yeah, no, I mean, she does. She tolerates it to an extent, but I know there's some other things that we want to get into tonight that are direct relation to that tolerance level at the house, kind of
clearing some stuff up, moving it to a different location.
Yeah.
Understandable. So, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, so of course, talk about another location to bring printers to show them off, to work on them, to stream. And where you're at now, I know from the backdrop, is you've got a store location, a brick and mortar store, a first for you.
Yep. Oh yeah. So it was kind of reaching critical mass at the house. We had printers upstairs in my office and streaming room, and then a printer went on the dining room table after one of the shows. It's like, no, don't worry about it. It won't be there for long. I just, I'm trying to get everything unpacked. And, next thing you know, there's 2 tables in the dining room, and they all have printers on them. And then there's 5 or 6 lined up in the living room in front of the TV. And, it was, well, there's not enough power upstairs. I need to spread it around on different circuits. And
I'm saving from burning the house down, honey.
The tolerance level got up to here, and she's like, you got to do something. And we started looking for some shop space with just the intent of moving stuff out and having another place where I could just do the 3D printing stuff, maybe
more of
stream
just a studio.
From. And the more we thought about it, it was like, let's just, that takes money out. Let's do something that might bring money in as well. And
balance it some, right?
Yeah. And I think this way, it also means I probably won't have as much time to build new things because I'm busy running things.
Running the store, making upgrades and fixes, and which with that storefront is, you've done a lot already, of course, prior to opening. I think electrical, the floor.
So we got the keys on the 1st of December, and we spent all of December just trying to clean the place up, right? This is a building that was built in 1948. It's got these really, really cool brick walls that are amazing. In fact, on the other side of this wall is an actual vault. It is an actual
Yes.
bank vault with a door. I know Joel's seen it, and which makes a great storeroom for all the backstock stuff. And
Nobody, unless they're a
the
pro
floors
hit
were
team,
horrendous
nobody's
because there was
stealing
a
stuff from
printing
you.
press in here. Yeah, so we had to we redid the floors, we repainted the walls, we had to do a lot of electrical to bring it up to code. Um, little things like needing grounded outlets for printers.
Some you got
So
some little glass breakers and some new breaker panels and
yeah, we redid that. We took out the 1940s wiring, we took out the 1960s upgrade wiring, and we went into a 2000s breaker box with appropriately sized breakers and appropriately sized wires. And we
it's a good thing
decided
when you're pulling
not to
some power.
mix 14 gauge and 12 gauge wire on the same circuit.
Oh yeah, and that's the so like worst too is I had the opportunity, thankfully, to stop by while we were down in North Carolina to check it out. And of course, you got your storefront, as you said, you have your vault, your storage area. Then there's also a couple other extra rooms that have the potential for additional things. Did you want to talk about that a little bit? Like, of course, you got the 3D printing storefront up front with room to teach and have classes, but you also have a couple other places to work with.
Yeah, so we've got the retail space. We've got an area that'll be for like maker meetup type stuff where we have some workbenches. We can they're rolling workbenches, so we can reconfigure it and teach classes in that same area. We've got a mini print farm in the back, so we can show off like what a print farm setup would start to look like as you start building out. And there's some things we might do with our good friends from Auckland, New Zealand, the automated crew.
Yep.
And then we have some back room areas, one that can be converted into a dedicated classroom or an NDA style room. And then the other room, we're going to look at expanding out and having a full resin printer set up in there for Evil Diesel. And we're going to bring over the desktop mills, and we'll be able to do some milling here on site as well.
So just the full maker space experience.
Exactly.
And then also you can't leave out the open patio kind of in between, kind of intermixed inside the building.
We've got that. We've got we've got local makers. They're like, hey, I'll bring a grill over and I'll bring a heater, and we need a sail shade for the summertime, and everybody's
for you.
Yeah, everybody's waiting to get in here and see that.
So now that is, of course, located in Sanford, North Carolina.
Correct.
Which I don't know if Pezlas or if somebody wants to link his, it's DigitalDragon3D.com is of course on the screen. But link that in chat too if somebody wants to click it. It's got the address there. Because then you are open, but you have your grand opening coming next month, correct?
Correct. So we've got our grand opening set for February 7th. That's going to be a Saturday, and we did a soft opening on January 17th, and that went really well. We had a lot of people. We had Thunder Keys come down out of Virginia. We had folks out of Fayetteville with Jedi Spidey and a few others that showed up. And we're hoping to have a lot more people here on the 7th of February, and then the 3rd of March. Yeah. 3rd of March, we're having the ribbon cutting ceremony that we'll have like the Chamber of Commerce and potentially the mayor out here for that event. And a lot of our local businesses will be out here for that as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great for the exposure just for students and families and everybody else that realize like, hey, there's 3D printing in our town now. Yeah.
And it's so weird because I'm on a lot of different socials, and I had pretty much like given up on Facebook. I'm literally on Facebook just for family, and everybody's like, you got to have a Facebook page. You got to have a Facebook page for the business. So I created a Facebook page for the business. And 2 days later, somebody walked into the door and said, yeah, I found you on Facebook. I was like, okay.
There you go. I sold you on it.
Yeah.
Maybe they were right.
Yep. So,
now, of course, what we talked about, you have the ability to do classes, hangouts, tinker with things, But service wise, like obviously you sell filament, you sell printers, you sell accessories. What encompasses what the Digital Dragon 3D offers?
Yeah. So right now we're selling printers by FlashForge and Bamboo Labs. We should be getting a
Big
couple
names.
HTDs in anytime now. The Bamboo Labs are just really, when can I order them? Because a batch drops and they're gone, right? So I'll be staying up till like midnight trying to hit the button.
Refreshing.
Like
somebody trying to get a ticket to the Super Bowl, last minute.
I need that deal on that TV for the Super Bowl. I need that 200-inch TV.
Black Friday deals back in the day.
Yeah, like eBay auctions. I got it.
Oh yeah, sniping it.
But yeah, so we're doing that, trying to get some more printers in. We carry a large portion of the EPAX 3D filament lineup, and we've got Bamboo lineup in here now, primarily PLA, PETG, ABS, ASA, TPUs. We haven't gotten into a lot of the engineering filaments right now, just because we're still trying to gauge.
Yeah, what the interest
like
is,
what
are people buying?
Yeah, in this particular area, who's going to be wanting that filament outside of myself? And if I have to, I've got plenty back there in my personal stock I can sell.
There you go. Yeah, and like I said, it gets expensive on some of that engineering stuff. So to stock that and be like, well, now I'm sitting on it for 6 months because everybody wants PLA. So, but completely understandable. And that's one thing too, is like we kind of talked part of the show, is the FlashForge stuff is you do have, in stock, ready to do, in person or ship parts, right? Maintenance parts, repair parts.
Correct. And that's actually been a lot of what I've done over this last week is selling parts for the FlashForge. And, it's interesting because I know there's at least a couple of other people here in the States with FlashForge printers, but what we're realizing, because I just got an order out of the blue from Colorado for some parts, right? So it's just the people are selling the printers, but they're not selling the repair parts. Like I service them. I do warranty service for FlashForge and Bamboo printers, and then I do service and support for any printer that'll walk through the door as well. We're also looking at doing like service contracts to be able to do preventive maintenance for people in the local area that are either straight up businesses or people with small print farms. They can either bring the printer into us or we can go see them. It depends on them and where they have their business at. I know a lot of people running print farms at home may not want others coming in, but that's the other thing we're going to be doing, as well as some design services.
A ton of stuff. And then of course too, with the grand opening, you've got a couple of community things. I might have the flyers actually they're next to me on my next to the desk here. But so what are some of the things that maybe the viewers here can participate in if they want to? I think there's the egg deal.
So we're doing some community projects. That's one of the things Mrs. Dragon is really keen on doing and stuff. So we're starting off with dragons in the community doing dragon eggs. So what we're asking is, regardless of media, right? A 3 by 3 by 3 inch size egg, right? So you can go on Maker World, Fangs, pick your STL location of choice and find a dragon egg and print out a dragon egg in whatever color you want. Bonus points for doing a little backstory and sending it in to the store here. And we're going to put them all on display in the community area that we have set up here, just to show them off. And like I said, it can be any media. So, I don't have a 3D printer. Well, that's great. You crochet an egg. I do, paper mache. Hey, I do, metal casting. Maybe you don't want to do a 3-inch egg, but you do a smaller egg because you're metal casting or whatever. Just pick whatever media you like to do and do an egg and send it on in. If you're local, bring it down.
In the end, it's kind of just supporting community and